What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's Aleksi here. So in this video I want to really talk about like God, and you can pray to God as much as you'd like, but at the end of the day you also need to take steps in your real life, and action steps and actionable things, and do things and have thoughts and contemplate on the truth and God and everything else in life and yourself. Because if you don't take these action steps, then you can never practice the truth. You can never practice and be obedient to God if you never do actions. You could say this about anybody like Noah. Noah was given a commission and he went to do that commission. That's action steps that God gave him to take. And we need to do the same. We need to take action steps in our faith journeys, whatever God is telling us to do, or whatever you feel called to do with your faith journey. You need to take action steps. You need to read God's words. Of course, you need to pray. But after all these things, you also need to go into real life and experience things and practice things and understand and come to understand yourself. You can't live life without living life, and asking God for things and so on is not enough. And this is where the real growth actually happens, is when you go into real life and experience everything that you need to experience. Because if you don't do that, you'll never actually gain anything. Just asking God for like guidance, blessings, whatever, enlightenment is useless if you're not actually willing to take any daily disciplined action steps towards that, daily obedience, and the things that you have to do, like reading daily, praying daily, actually working on yourself daily, contemplating daily, meditating daily, doing all these good habits daily. That's how you actually get to the point where you can, be healed, you can be your highest self, and achieve everything you need to achieve, is when you actually take the action steps and don't just wait for God to magically do something in your life. Because a lot of people also might get stuck in this like faith journey where they think that they just have to wait for things to happen. But you still have to take action steps. Even if there's magic involved from God, you still need to take action steps in the physical for your reality to create for you to heal, for you to gain anything in life, for you to gain the truth, for you to actually seek God. Prayer takes an action step, right? Reading God's words takes action steps. So does everything else in life. So you have to walk forward those steps that God wants you to walk, in the direction you're supposed to walk in, that God will guide you to. But you can't do that if you're not actually willing to take the step, and not be in fear and everything else, and constrained by all these feelings and moods and laziness and so on. So don't get like complacent and think that just praying and just spending time with God and reading God's words is enough in your life. You still need to live your life and actually do action steps that God wants you to take to move and forward progress in your life, right? I think this should be enough for you to understand what you need to do next, and I think it's short and sweet. If there's a will, there's a way. Thank you for watching. When I was in the description and the description, thank you very much. I hope this helps. Remember to take action.